much ado, I see you've met my faithful handyman. He's just a little brought down because when you knocked, he thought you were the candy man.
And don't just live for tomorrow, or just live for yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
So I didn't put on any makeup. Sue me. Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to the 2018 Halloween special. That's right, we are at the Halloween special, and unfortunately we're not reacting to Rocky Horror. You see the title, you know what this is. We are doing Shin Godzilla. And you may be wondering, Godzilla's not really a Halloween movie, right? Well, I disagree. See, last year on the old channel, before all of that shit went down with it being terminated, I reacted to the full second season of Stranger Things for the Halloween special. This year, I decided I wanted to do something different. I didn't want to go with just the classic horror kind of thing, because when people think of Halloween-type movies, they always think of that. They always think of horror. When I think of Halloween, I think of a lot more than that. I think of monsters as well. And who's the king of the monsters? Godzilla. So, yeah, this is also a movie I've never seen, of course, because my reactions are always blind. Well, as blind as they can be. And, yeah, it's, I've heard good things about it. I've heard some pretty good things. Just as a note, this will be the Japanese version with English subtitles. I'm not doing it just because I think it's the best way to do it or anything. I know there is an English dub. I know that great voice actors like J. Michael Tatum are actually in it. I'm not doing the dub because the website I found this on, Kiss Asian, only had this version. So, yeah. I know pretty much nothing about this movie. I remember when it was advertised, I saw all the different advertising and stuff for it. And some of that advertising included Godzilla with a really freakishly long tail. Like, much longer than it, honestly, I would think should be. And it showed a couple, like, shots of him in general, and he looked a lot different. So, not like the 99 Matthew Broderick movie, not like that version of Godzilla, not that different, but definitely notably creepier. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I chose to do this for the Halloween special this year. Because from the small bit of art I have seen from this movie, Godzilla just looks outright creepy. He looks freaky and scary and Halloween-like to me. Now, I don't know what the story behind this is. I don't know if it'll include any of the other classic Godzilla monsters, like Mothra, Rodan, Ghidorah, Mechagodzilla, Biollante, any of them. I'm thinking probably not, at least not any of the major ones. But you never know. I haven't heard anything one way or the other. So yeah, we are doing this movie reaction. It is about 2 hours long, so it's quite a bit to get into. And after this, I also still have to record DuckTales for today, so that's going to be fun. Well, here's the thing. I'm recording this on Tuesday, just because I want to kind of get it out of the way and everything. So, I also have to record DuckTales for today, as in Tuesday. You're seeing this on Wednesday, on Halloween, so, yeah. But yeah, I don't really have anything much else to say. I thank you all, for those of you who were here last Halloween and have continued to support the channel and everything, continue to show up for all the videos and whatnot, especially after the old account got terminated and you came over to this new one. I thank you so much for that. And I hope that we can make it another year to another Halloween special. Who knows what it will be next year. But yeah, this should be fun. This should be fun. Hopefully it's a really good movie, too. Like, some of the older Godzilla movies are a little hard to sit through. They're quite boring, to be honest. But the newer ones have gotten a lot more interesting, and I'm not just talking about the American Legendary Pictures ones, you know, with like Bryan Cranston and whatnot, and Millie Bobby Brown, 11 from Stranger Things, in the upcoming sequel and stuff. But yeah, I'm not just talking about like those ones. I'm talking about like the more recent ones in general, even the ones made by Toho. So I am hoping this turns out to be pretty damn good. I have a lot of hopes for it, and we'll just see. We'll see. In the meantime, this is a redirect, so the link is in the description below for both BitChute and Google Photos. If you have any suggestions for a Christmas special, because that will be coming up in just a couple months, if you have any suggestions for that, please leave those in the comments below. I'm thinking of some ideas myself. I just want to kind of get ahead of the curve with that. I know it's not even Thanksgiving yet while you think about Christmas stuff, because I want to get things prepared, you know? So if you have any suggestions for that, for the future, I'll start like piling together a list. But let's focus on Halloween right now. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts, and will contain spoilers to the movie. So that being said, thank you all so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. Okay, and we are back, and we will begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. Okay, so I enjoyed this. I wouldn't say it was as good as the 2014 North American Godzilla, or even the, I know a lot of people will probably hate me for this, but I would not say it's as good as the Matthew Broderick one from the late 90s. At least in terms of just entertainment value. It did do the entire concept of having the two, like, just opposing sides and everything. Like I mentioned during the reaction, it has those two focuses. It's just Godzilla attacking, doing his thing, and the government responding to it and preparing to try to take him down. It was just that was basically it. And like I said, I won't remember these characters. I won't remember these characters. I won't remember like their names and whatnot, or too much of like their characters or personalities. They didn't leave that much of an impact on me. They just didn't. But in terms of just the general idea of it, it's pretty cool. It was a well-made film still. Now, at the end there, I was kind of questioning, was Godzilla actually dead? And it's not entirely clear, because I looked it up afterwards, and here's what I'm going to read to you what I have here. So it talks about firing the coagulants into his mouth and all, and it says, though many are killed in the process, Godzilla is frozen solid. In the aftermath, it is discovered that the Godzilla fallout has a very short half-life, and that Tokyo can soon be reconstructed. The international community agrees to cancel the nuclear attack, so that was canceled. That was also something I wasn't completely sure on. But has the new Japanese government agree that, in the event of Godzilla's reawakening, an immediate thermonuclear strike will be executed? So, if Godzilla is ever to reawaken, not when, but if he is ever to reawaken, then a thermonuclear strike will happen right away. Not even hesitation, no other options. Godzilla's tail, which we saw at the end there, shows these humanoid Godzilla-like creatures frozen in the process of emerging. Yeah, that part, like, kind of confused me a little bit as well. I could try to go back to it at the end here, before the credits. Yeah, because it shows him frozen there. Then it kind of goes up to the tail. And yeah, it's like... Hold on, I'm gonna mute this real quick. Just I want to get a good shot of that at the end. Because it like pans up the tail. Then it does kind of this close-up. So, let me see if I can get this on screen for you guys. To show you what I'm talking about. Okay, well that's like kind of shrunken down, but... Like, see, this is at the very end, right before the credits roll. This is like close-up of Godzilla's tail. It's panning up it towards the tip of it. As you can see, there's like these humanoid creatures like popping out. These like humanoid forms and all. They have arms and everything, hands, heads. And it's like, what? That is just really creepy and weird. And it's like, what does that mean? Like, what is that supposed to imply? I don't fully understand that. Now, also according to what this says, Toho does plan to release more to this. There's not going to be a direct sequel to Shin Godzilla, but they announced earlier this year that they're going to try to do this shared universe kind of thing, sort of like what the MCU does. Or I guess technically what Legendary Entertainment is doing with Godzilla and King Kong and stuff. So yeah. There's also the anime movies on Netflix, which I have not seen yet either. But I don't think those are connected. I don't think those are connected in any way to Shin Godzilla. I don't have a huge amount to say, because as I mentioned, I don't really... a lot of it's not going to stick with me. It just isn't. I can say that I like that Godzilla had a few different forms. That was new. That was definitely different. And I like the way they handled the atomic fire breath. That was definitely a different version of it. It's just like... Here, let me show you something. Let me see if I can bring something up real quick. To give you, like, this just kind of example of, like... An example of, like, what I view as a great scene for Godzilla and everything. Let me see if I can bring it up. Sorry if you hear it for a second here. I'm going to mute it here on YouTube, but I am going to bring it up. This is from the 2014 movie. This is probably the best part, well, at least one of the best parts of the movie. And definitely, like, the moment for me, I guess you could say, that really made me love this version of Godzilla. So this is during, near the end, I believe. Well, during the big climactic point. It's with Godzilla and the Mutos. So I'm going to skip ahead just a little bit. As you can see, this is how the atomic fire breath looks like in this movie. This is more what I envision the atomic fire breath to be like. It's this, like, glowing blue flame. In Shin Godzilla, it was definitely more of a laser beam. which isn't like a terrible idea, but at the same time, it's like, it just didn't come across as Godzilla to me. You know what I mean? There's one other one here I want to show you. I just have to find it. It's like the most iconic scene from the movie. Now, it is dark, so it's going to be hard to see. Here we go. So this is during the final battle as well. Godzilla and the Muto are grappling, and Godzilla shoots the flame right into the Muto's mouth, burning out its throat. The body falls. It's still holding the head. And then Godzilla just roars in kind of like this victory-like moment. And then just drops the head. It's kind of the most iconic scene in the movie because, one, it's just badass as hell. And two, it's like, it really gives you this feel like, this is Godzilla. This is fantastic. This is what we want to see. And again, not that the Godzilla in Shin Godzilla was bad or poorly done, but it's just like, it didn't seem like Godzilla to me. Not as much. Now, I know this movie gained critical acclaim. And like I said, it's not a bad movie. Not by any means. But it's not one that I will honestly remember as being a great Godzilla movie. I like a few aspects of it. I liked some of the characters. I liked that Godzilla had multiple forms. I liked the design of the forms, very much so. Hell, I even liked the design of the laser and how that worked and everything. I just don't feel it felt very Godzilla to me. Especially when you had his mouth, like, tear open to obnoxious levels. And, his bottom jaw split, apart like that when he shot the atomic fire breath and all. It's just, I don't know, it seemed really weird to me. It just seemed like it just, I don't know how to explain other than it just didn't feel like it was Godzilla. Like, it didn't feel right. Here, I'll bring that up on screen too, just to show you again. Oh crap, hold on. I accidentally went down. I went to a different thing there. My fault, sorry. So this is the scene. I just brought it up on YouTube because I'm already up on there. So, watch this again. So he's opening his mouth to do the fire breath, right? Look how wide that opens. And then you see the bottom jaw start to split apart. It just does not look... It's just really weird to me. Try to get back to it. And then, like, it starts by shooting out that smoke, and its head is jerking around, and it's like... It comes across as really creepy, but also kind of silly. And then it ignites it. And that admittedly is very cool and scary and everything. But again, it almost doesn't feel like Godzilla. You know what I'm saying? Like, look how wide his mouth is. And then, especially when the laser's coming out, his mouth is that wide, and it's like the laser is coming from the singularity just outside of its actual mouth. Like, hold on, let me see if I can get back to that point. Like, yeah, see, right there. See where the laser is actually starting? It's not actually in his mouth. It's like right outside it. But you see like this almost like stream of smoke? Like it's shooting out this stream of smoke, and then that one singularity point is where it's igniting. Right? And it's just like, what is this? This doesn't seem like Godzilla to me. Like, look at that. It's creepy, it's disturbing, it's kind of gross, but... And then you had to... And then you can... I'm not going to show that as well, but... Then you also had the entire thing with the lasers on the back, and it's just like... The entire back lasers, and then from the tip of the tail as well. I don't know, it just... It felt a little weird to me. I feel like, I feel like they were trying to do a lot of different stuff. Because here's the thing to note. You know how originally Godzilla was like this kind of a statement on the nuclear bombs and everything that dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki? Well, I read that this one is apparently supposed to be a statement as well, but more on the nuclear plant disaster that happened like a few years back. So it's basically kind of it's making a statement, and I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing, because again, Godzilla was always kind of meant to do that. But at the same time, it just feels like it's losing itself in that. Even with all the stuff with the government characters, it just felt like it was trying to send a message rather than present a cohesive movie. And a cohesive Godzilla movie, especially. It just felt like there's a lot more questions than answers, and the questions we got, a lot of them weren't answered. Especially with that at the end. What the fuck was that? With the humanoid creatures coming out of its tail. And then it's like, we don't even know if it's actually dead or not at the end. It just leaves so much kind of up to interpretation. And sometimes that's good, but in this case, it feels like, I don't know, it just feels like it's not enough. This Godzilla seemed like it was definitely one of the strongest Godzillas. It was the biggest. And I feel like it was one of the toughest in terms of its like overall like durability. And it's like, that's cool, you know? But at the same time, it's like, they kind of made it a little too much so. You know what I'm saying? The fact that that nothing was pretty much working on it, like, made it almost kind of feel unnatural in a way, you could say. Trying to get something up as well, just to show for fun. It's going to be kind of blurry, I think, but... yeah. It's going to be kind of blurry, so I do apologize for that. But I do want to show you one other thing before I end this. So this is a Godzilla size chart. It's fully updated. It has all the Godzillas on it. Okay, so that's the end of it. Just trying to make sure I've got the full height and everything for it, too. Right? Okay, so... now, it's hard to see these dates and everything, of course. I think it's like 54, 55, 62, 64... but so on. It's like all these different Godzillas, right? Now, as you can see, they're pretty darn big here at this point, but they're all around the same size. And then you get to this one over here, and I think that says 84. It's really blurry. I do apologize for that. But that one goes up to 80 meters. All the others are are the same height, 50 meters, as you see. But then Godzilla gets suddenly very much bigger, 80 meters, and continues to stay around that. But then it goes to 100 meters. Stays there for a bit. And then it starts shrinking down again with a couple other incarnations. You have one from 2004, which is back up to 100. And then you get to the more modern stuff. So these are the three most, I guess you could say, the most modern, different versions of Godzilla here. Sorry about that. I'm trying to keep it full screen, but I keep accidentally clicking it. So as you can see on the right, at 70 meters, not even the tallest by any means, is Zilla. This is the one from the 1998 Matthew Broderick one, the one that's set in New York. In the middle is from 2014 at 108 meters. That's the 2014 one from the one that has Bryan Cranston in it and all. And then Shin Godzilla is right next to it at 118.5 meters. So yes, Shin Godzilla is the tallest Godzilla, but not by as much as you would think. So like you shrink this down and everything, you see that most of the tallest ones before that had been 100 meters, but then 2014 was 8 meters taller. And then the other one's basically just 10.5 meters. I thought it was going to be a lot bigger than Godzilla's had been previously, like a lot. And it's, mind you, it's a lot bigger than a lot of the Godzillas, like compared to like the 60 and 50 meter ones and stuff. Definitely a lot bigger still. And this is I like this comparison too, because it's showing how all of them would be sized in comparison to these humans running here. And I think this was just a scene from Shin Godzilla, and they just added the other ones in. So you can see how big like Shin Godzilla is compared to these humans and all. But as you can see, like the smaller ones, the 55 is basically just about the same as 50. You can see that they're definitely not anywhere near as big compared to humans. I mean, obviously that's also still from a distance, so you have to take that into account. But yeah, it's very clear that Shin Godzilla is definitely the biggest. But again, I thought he was going to be more like, I mean, from what I was thinking, I thought it was going to be more like 120 to 130 meters. That's kind of the impression that I got from it when I was hearing that he was the biggest Godzilla and everything. But again, it's like only 10.5 higher than 2014 Godzilla. Either way, like I said, I did enjoy this film. Don't get me wrong, I had fun with it. I thought it was entertaining enough to watch. It's just not something that I'm going to remember. It's not like the Matthew Broderick one or the 2014 one, where those are super memorable, have memorable characters, memorable plot points and stuff. Those I will remember a lot more than this one. The thing I will remember most for this one is Godzilla himself. The different forms, the designs, and just the varying ideals that they added to him. Like the changes with his atomic fire breath and stuff. Also, I kind of like how Godzilla has these like different body types too. Like you see a lot of them are like just kind of basic body types, but then you see some of them, like this one from 95 here, the one that has this like brown color to it, is very thick, like kind of fat almost. And then you get over here to Shin Godzilla, and Shin Godzilla has this like lean upper half, but then has these thick ass thighs. And 2014 Godzilla is just like this monstrous, like, again, just for lack of a better term, thick ass beast. It has like almost like this like wide form to it that's very different from others. And then you have like Zilla over here from the Matthew Broderick one, who kind of has like this thinness to it in comparison to a lot of the others. It's almost like has this thin midsection and some lean, almost muscular like legs and stuff, thin arms. So it's like, I like how there's all these different body types to the Godzillas as well, because having those changes and everything with them, it's just a neat little touch design-wise. I can get behind that. Either way, tell me in the comments below what you thought of Shin Godzilla. Did you find it as kind of underwhelming as I did, but still good? Did you love it much more than I did, or did you not like it at all? Tell me your thoughts no matter what it is. in the comments below. And thank you so much for tuning in to the 2018 Halloween special. I hope you have a very good Halloween if you celebrate it. And if you're watching this after Halloween, I hope you already did have a great Halloween. I hope you enjoy dressing up and having all kinds of yummy candy and just having a lot of fun, you know? I hope it's just a really good day for you all. In the meantime, though, thank you all so much for tuning in. And for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.
And though you've come through many obstacles, shed tears along the way, you're still standing